hand over to Dr. Preeti and Ganesh. Stage is all yours.
Thank you, Ravi.
Thank you very much, Ravi. I hope we are audible and you can hear us well.
Yes, yes. Very clear, very clear. Yeah.
Excellent. So when we get introduced like that formally, we suddenly grow up, from being, uh, children are never introduced like that. They're told, this is my friend, and, we play together, and, today is about inner child. So while I accept your formal introduction, I am going to also do some introductions which are not so formal. And the first introduction I will do is Ravi of yours, because you are an example where the inner child is fully active. And so we thank you for giving us this opportunity to speak to friends in the UK and elsewhere. Um, and we are very happy this year we were to be back in London to do the workshop again. But the divine had other plans, and all of us, this is a moment of human awakening these last 5 months. And it is fabulous that you are continuing to walk this path, Ravi. We are all co-travelers with our teachers and masters in Dr. Newton, Dr. Lakshmi, Patriji, all the masters providing direction. We continue to walk. So, firstly, we are just here as your friends. We don't know anything special. We are just on the path, and we invite all of you to join the path. And we'll share some learnings that we have had from our path, So our teacher always taught us, Dr. Newton, that, the breath is our master, and that we really have the power within us. So all these therapeutic pieces are really about awakening our inner power, which we already have, to transform, to live peacefully, joyously. Ravi, I had to correct you in my introduction. I actually began meditating in 2006, not 2008. And that was 3.5 years after my marriage. Because Preeti began meditating when she was 15 years old. And after I got married, like most stubborn husbands, I was not listening to my wife. And so after 3.5 years of not listening, I suddenly decided to listen one day. And I went for a meditation camp for 9 days. And it transformed my thought process. I was always inspired by Dr. Preeti because, I was this brash, angry go-getter who wanted to, really be successful and always very energetic and, wanting to work. And Preeti was this very calm, peaceful, very, unconditional love was flowing. And I was always inspired. Actually, that's why I got inspired and got married to Preeti. And then but I was not ready to listen, I wanted to be like that, but I was not ready to listen. When I actually listened in 2006, something very beautiful started to happen. I started to feel a certain inner peace. And most importantly, professionally, what I achieved from 97 to 2006, I achieved in the next 1 year after I started meditation. What I did in 8-9 years, I did in 1 year after I started 2006 June. And then in the next 7 years, 8 years, I think I was able to achieve so much more. And I didn't know, at that time, I didn't know anything about inner child or anything like that. Then November 2013, after 4 years of Preeti asking me to go to meet Dr. Newton, I took 4 years. Again, stubborn husbands don't learn very easily. So all those have to be learning their lesson from me and not taking 3 years, 4 years every time to do something. You have to listen to your wife. First rule I learned was in this path, always listen to your wife quickly. And the second thing, then I went for the second time after many times she said this, we have to do this therapy. I said, why go in the past? Present is so important. Unnecessarily, you are going into your childhood and your past and all. Let us focus on the future and the present. And so I was not willing to go for 4 years. And then in November 2013, I went to Dr. Newton and Preeti, of course, we went together. And the next 7 years, I did more than I did in the first 17 years of my life, in professional life. So what I realized was not just was this work transforming me personally, it was also transforming my life professionally. So friends, all of us that who are watching on YouTube, or, meditation is not about doing nothing only. And, everything happens by doing nothing. We go from hard work to smart work to no work. Today, there is so much more happening, and yet we have time for everything. So I really want to invite all of you this morning or this afternoon, wherever you are joining, to really look at inner child healing or inner child work as a means for self-transformation, not just transformational at a personal level, but at the family level, at the community level, at the professional level, at the organizational level. All areas of your life would be impacted when we work on this area. And the reason I say it is I have been impacted. This is from my own personal experience that I can share it. Dr. Preeti will share the presentation and will take you through a guided meditation. But I have no other knowledge to share other than my own experiences. So what I want to share is that I was wondering up until when I did inner child work in 2013, why I'm getting so stressed, why I get angry, why I get restless, why I, always am in a hurry for everything. All those emotions, those survival emotions, those lower emotions, as we would call them, they were often driving. Even, meditation seemed to be like a spiritual bypass sometimes. What happened is you close your eyes and you're feeling peaceful, but the moment you open your eyes, you are again angry. So there is something more than meditation we had to do. Because first 7 years I was doing meditation. Then I heard this word spiritual bypass. And then I realized, yes, when I'm meditating, I'm very peaceful. But then when I go to the office, again, the stress is coming. So then Dr. Newton showed us this way of trying to understand what is going on in our lives. And what I realized that the anger of the 38-year-old or the 40-year-old was actually the anger of the 6-year-old, the anger of the 4-year-old. It was not the 40-year-old Ganesh who was getting angry. It was the 4-year-old Ganesh who had to bottle up his anger, or the 10-year-old who went to school and was, abused in some way, or was told some, was not cared for like the teachers, by some teachers. There are so many instances that started to come to the surface. These were in the past, in this lifetime. And that is when I began to realize how profoundly our present is impacted by our past. How profoundly our present is impacted not just by our childhood memories, not just by the actions, the commissions and omissions of people during our childhood, but even during the stage when we were in the mother's womb. It starts from there, when we are conceived, from conception to birthing, to being an infant, to being a toddler, to being a preschool, to being a school-going child, to being a young teen and adolescent. All these stages shape who we are today. We are a sum total of what happened to us between conception in the mother's womb and age 21. So if you are really trying to solve an issue or a problem in your current life, whether it is in your relationships, in your family, in your workplace, in your personal life, in your own with your own emotions, if you are trying to solve any present day problems or challenges or issues, we must become aware of the fact that the roots are in the first 21 years of our life. And as I began to work with Dr. Newton, we did a 6-day retreat. But I always like to call myself a weak student. I'm a repeater. I'm a repeater. Everybody used to say, I was a very weak student in school also I was. So I had to repeat some things. So like that repeater, and so much learning has come through that. So friends, I invite all of you today to this session where we will really explore who we are. And of course, we can't do it in 1.5 hours, but we want to give you a taste of this. If you are dealing with anything, all the stress around COVID, etc., there is a solution which may not necessarily always lie just in the present moment. Yes, you have to come into the present moment, but you have to briefly access the past. You have to briefly access the past. You have to relive that past. And you have to heal that piece. That child within me, I was able to heal. That 4-year-old who got victimized or traumatized, who got scared, that 7-year-old who got bullied, that 10-year-old who got spanked in the school, all those memories I was able to relive, relieve, let go, and that made me very peaceful in this present moment. Life became so joyous since 2030. Although meditation started in 2006, but really the beauty started to manifest with inner child work. And without Dr. Preeti, I would not be sitting here. So it has been 17 years now. I learned so much from her, and I'm sure all of us will also greatly benefit from the wisdom that I benefited from. And so I will hand over now to Dr. Preeti to take us through this presentation and the meditation. Over to you.
Thank you, Dinesh.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sorry, friends, we're just changing the setting in a minute.
No, that's okay.
Yes. Okay. So I'm sure all of us have heard this. This is from the Bible, where he said, "Truly I tell you, unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven." So what really is this inner child? And sometimes when we've studied science, we have become very rational minded. We wonder that the childhood is over. Why is it that what is this inner child? Is this like another type of schizophrenia, like a state? Is there somebody else sitting inside of us when we say inner child? So what really is this inner child? As we know, when we are meditators, we know that our true being is really the soul state. As a soul, we are complete in ourselves. And when we are coming here, we're choosing parents. So this child who is born as this soul who is absolutely complete in themselves. This child here, the human child we have all seen, is so vulnerable. The child cannot survive till the child is taken care of. So the two qualities that come here when we are coming on the physical plane is we are very vulnerable, and this child is completely dependent. So this child will not know their own soul nature initially. They will not see that, oh, I'm this multidimensional, talented person. this is my true state, unless and until that is being mirrored to the child initially. So initially the child is actually seeing what the parents are showing to them. So if in their eyes this child is this beautiful God being, then the child will somewhere get this. But if the parents are carrying some issues, some pain, and if for any reason they are not really happy, for example, a lot of us when we were born, very likely, they wanted a boy, and if you were born a girl, maybe they were not as happy initially. Maybe they accepted later. But the way that the parents are really seeing us, that is having a huge impact on us. The way we are welcomed, whether we are welcomed or no, whether we are accepted, whether our parents really are happy to take care of us, or is it like a burden if we are the second or the third or the fourth child? They were not really wanting a child, but now, okay, the child has come. So all of it, the child is actually sensing. This is the inner child. And where is it going? It is in our subconscious or unconscious. And as we all know that, as the psychologists say, the subconscious or the unconscious is the 95%. As we are growing up, of course, we learn to deal with things. Even a child somewhere has to survive, so they're learning to deal with things. And by the time we have grown up, we've become an adult, we've become this 21, further, the adult that we are. When we see this brown layer, the adult self outside, when we are interacting with the world, of course, we all look like absolutely healthy beings. That there doesn't seem to be anything wrong with that. Because all that probably unmet needs that would be there, all that childhood, whatever has happened, a lot of it is there in the subconscious, right? So this is really the inner child. If we understand this in a little different way, we can also say that the inner child is the emotional aspect of us. Let me explain to you why we say that. Now, the Ganesh spoke about the different stages: infancy, toddler. So all these different stages have different developmental needs. Like I said, that the child is completely dependent, meaning that the child cannot really meet their own needs. They will have different needs, but they cannot take care of their needs by themselves. The needs have to be met by a person outside, but by a parent or a caretaker. And a lot of these needs are there. So usually when we were fed, we were taken care of physically, our safety, we think all our needs were met. But no, there are so many other emotional needs as well. The child initially, when the child is born, the child does not really have a thinking mind. We all know that a child right in the womb is absorbing everything. We've heard stories in our scriptures where the child inside the womb is also able to sense. And that's the reason why they say that during the pregnancy, the mother should really be happy. She should be taken care of. She should listen to good stuff because the child is absorbing all of this. Where is all of this going? This is going in the form of energy, and this is being recorded in the child. Even when the child is born, and after the child starts to kind of move and really express, initially there is no thinking mind. The thinking brain, which is the neocortex, is not developed. As we all know, when a child is small, we say that this part is so soft. This is not developed. The outer thinking part is going to slowly develop. But what is really happening is that the emotional brain, which is the mammalian brain, we are all like those animals, like mammals. So the mammalian brain, which is the emotional brain, is actually recording also everything. So the child also has these other needs, which a lot of parents are not aware of. And that need is that their emotions, thoughts, and intuitions need to be validated. What do we mean by this validation? It's a very simple thing that if a child is feeling sad or angry, right? Validation would mean that we are saying, it's okay if you're feeling sad. It's okay if you're feeling angry. And it's not so much necessarily also saying it, but we are not hassled by it. But typically what we have observed, so initially when I was in my homeopathic practice also, I saw that a lot of the times the parents were just so upset if their child was upset about something. It was always as if that they had to just set something right, that there was something wrong if sometime the child was getting angry or being sad. Now friends, this has happened with us generations down the line. Our parents also, from their parents also, the parents always want that the child should be happy. So the child has not been allowed to feel the feelings which are very natural. There are times each of us will be sad. There are times each of us is angry. But because each of us in our childhood have not been allowed to feel that way, have not been validated for that. Now, if our parents are not feeling okay, if I'm feeling sad or upset, then I almost will feel as if there is something wrong with feeling sad or angry. And hence, when I have a child, when I have my child there feeling sad or angry or upset in some way, I will have this restlessness, almost like this urgency to set things right. I will not be okay, the child feeling that way, and hence I'm not validating it. Okay, so this is a need for which we see very, very commonly has not been met. There are so many other needs, we will not go into details of it, but today for this short topic, I thought this was the most important thing for us to really pinpoint. And since these thoughts, feelings, and intuitions have not been validated, this child, I said, is absorbing everything. So the moment the mother, father feel something is not right, the child will sense it. You don't even have to be told that, there's something wrong with it. Of course, a lot of the times we are also told, we've told, why do you have to get angry? There is nothing in this to get angry. You have so much more. You see those children on the streets. They don't even have, so much that you have. There is no reason for you to get angry. So when we are saying this, we are basically invalidating the child's emotions. Now, when the child will be growing up, like I said initially, the child can only feel. And emotions are nothing but energy that is flowing, energy that is in motion. Emotion is energy in motion. So this energy that the child has in himself flowing, they are feeling things automatically. When they are not allowed to express and they are not validated for these feelings, somewhere the energy starts to get blocked. And these emotions, they are going to be actually forming the blueprint for thinking, acting, and decision making. These aspects are going to come into the later stages. So the child feels, and then somewhere the child learns that it's okay if I'm feeling this way, but the other person may be feeling differently. It's okay to, we can agree to disagree. Our actions are going to be then also rooted here. So all of these other things are going to come later, and our emotions are forming the basic blueprint. Okay, and this quote has been from John Bradshaw. He is one of the pioneers of inner child healing. He has worked with so many people, also with people having addictions. Everybody having any kind of addiction, my dear friends, be it food addiction, be it smoking, be it alcohol, any kind of addiction, there is bound to be a huge amount of inner child wounding that is there. So a lot of work. He's an amazing master. This saying comes really from him, his experience. Let us understand really what happens. So I was saying here that when the parents say that, why do you have to get angry? There is nothing for you to be angry. The parents are usually focusing on the behavior. So if the child is behaving in a particular way, a lot of the times the parents' focus is, I have to set right the behavior. It's not okay for the child to be behaving this way, right? So when I'm saying that it's okay if the child is angry, that does not mean that we are going to teach the child that you throw the anger on somebody, that you keep projecting it on somebody. Of course, we are not talking about it. But a lot of the times, we are not even looking deeper. What is this deeper? Yes, we see that when we are looking deeper, there are going to be behaviors which are becoming like a pattern. That's an attitude. But when we look deeper, there is a feeling. Now, if a child is feeling good, it's going to be very naturally behaving well. You don't even have to say it, the behavior will be good. But if the child is not feeling right, not feeling good, then it will also reflect on the behavior. What comes even deeper to the feeling is the needs. Now, like we said, that every child has needs. When the needs are going to be met, they are automatically going to be feeling good. When the needs are not going to be met, they are going to be unpleasant feelings, or what we say, not the nice feelings, which Ganesh also said, the lower emotions. So when we feel anger, sadness, jealousy, guilt, right? Yes, it's not something that we would want to keep feeling. But firstly, it's important to acknowledge that they are natural. What the emotion is, or the feeling is only showing to us, is that there is a need underlying right now which is not being met, right? So isn't it also, as adults, when we see, right now, if I want my husband's time and if he's not really able to give me time, I'm going to be upset. So now when I pay attention, if I've been irritable, if I pay attention to what's upsetting me, it helps me to see that, I've been wanting to spend time with him, but he's not giving me time. So it just helps me to see what is the need underlying. And it helps me to see that, yes, there is a need. And then as an adult, of course, I can communicate, I can understand all of that. But as a child, now, very likely when the child is so young, the child cannot meet their own needs. As an adult, we can, right? So we can deal with it differently. But here for the child, we have to understand that those needs that are there, when the child is not behaving right, we need to see what is the need underlying. Now, this is, I'm talking from the perspective of if you are a parent, assuming that a lot of people here, adults, also have children, and this will help them. But now, when we also have to do inner child work, we have to recognize that a lot of these needs have not been met by our parents, just because they have not been met by their own parents. So in our societies, when feelings are not spoken about, when the child is shamed for being angry, for feeling sad about something, which is very, very common, these needs really go into the subconscious. These are unmet needs, and we stop paying attention to the feelings. Why do we do that? Because as children, parents are like gods for us. When we say they are like gods, of course, I will not think that my parent is doing anything wrong. But if I'm angry or I'm upset and my father or mother is not seeming to be very happy with my feeling sad about something, I automatically know that there is something wrong with me. And hence, when I sense that there is something wrong with me, that starts going into the subconscious. I'm now no longer going to be so comfortable showing it up, because I know my parents are not going to like it. Now, my parents are my source of love and attention. I need that love and attention. I need everything that I get from them. So, somewhere what happens is we start feeling like this, when I'm feeling this way, this is not right. And it starts getting all suppressed. So, when we say that the child has needs, these needs are not met. We say a lot of needs are not met. And a lot of these unmet needs lie in our subconscious as wounds. What are these wounds? There are certain wounds which are of commission. A lot of the times when people talk about inner child healing, when we talk about inner child healing to some new people, they say, oh no, my childhood was very good. I didn't have any kind of trauma, right? So we think that of course, the childhood healing would be required if you were really hit, if your parents were extremely abusive, or if you were really battered in your school, you were a bad student, then you would really need it. or you would need it supposing you had any kind of abuse, like a mental abuse, sexual abuse, physical abuse. So yes, of course, they are going to be having very strong wounds, and those are wounds of commission, where something has been committed. But there are these other wounds of omission, where very likely our parents were not even aware of these needs. Ganesh mentioned that I came from a family, my father was meditating even before he got married. So I was introduced, in the house, the meditation was there right from the time that I was conceived. But from the age of 15, I started meditating regularly, like every day. But so I thought, of course, there was no wounding that I had, right? And when I went to do this inner child healing, I thought that because I work so much with children and parents, let me do this work so I understand them better. This belief of mine was shattered right in the first 2 hours of the workshop, because the list of needs, we've only spoken about some few needs here, but the list of needs that are there for a child, for the healthy upbringing of the child, I realized that my parents were not aware of those needs. And also their own needs were not met with. And I understood that when our needs are not met with, we cannot meet the needs for our children. So if today, even if you know this, but if your needs are not met with, if you don't nurture those unmet needs, what will happen is that we will get irritated when our child feels needy. So these are these wounds of omission, where it's not like somebody was doing particularly anything, but because they didn't know, they were unaware, or they didn't have their own needs met, that your needs were not met with. And hence what happens is we grow up, as I said, that because my parents are gods for me, because they didn't know any of these needs, and they were really not happy with me being sad or me being angry. Whenever I will feel angry or sad or any of these emotions, I will feel there is something wrong with me. And that something wrong with me is exactly what the feeling of shame is. So we actually all start growing up with this feeling of shame, as if it's very natural. If I'm having a need which is now not being met, I'm going to feel this emotion. And because I'm going to feel this emotion now, I'm going to feel there's something wrong with me. So that something wrong with me, I am a mistake, is the feeling of shame. This is an intensely painful feeling, where we feel that we are flawed. There is something wrong with me. And this is a feeling that we've seen we all start having, because this natural flow, this natural expression and allowance of feeling what you're feeling is not there. And then what happens, friends? Then we try to come out of this, right? Because I'm feeling that there is something wrong with me. Now, I don't want to be this wrong person, right? So I try to do things so that I become the nice person. And then I'm not able to become that, because that's not naturally me, right? I'm trying, what is happening is very natural inside me. And when I try to be somebody else, try to do something else, I'm not able to do it, and then I start feeling guilty. So this is how in each of us, these feelings of guilt and shame start coming in. So every time, probably now, if you feel jealous, if you feel angry, you very likely automatically also feel this feeling of shame, like there is something wrong there, right? You're not able to process the emotions also in a healthy manner because of this. This underlying feeling is there with each of us, my dear friends. So inner child healing, what is really inner child healing? Is being the parent to this child within. Friends, the healing happens by taking responsibility. So when we are, yes, we are going to go into the past when we do inner child healing. We are going to go and see, how was I feeling? What happened when I was a 1-year-old, 2-year-old, 3-year-old? But that is not to blame the parents. Yeah. So that is so that we can take self-responsibility, so that now we can connect to this emotional aspect, to these unmet needs. And whatever is there, whatever this unmet need, it's like a vacuum, it's like a black hole, right? And we are just hoping that everything, some things outside is going to fill this up. I think a lot of us may be coming from this generation where, studies were so important, where our parents said that, we had to do well. And if we were scoring well, then probably we were getting some presents. Our parents seemed to be happy with us. It's almost like they felt that we were being the good children when we were doing well. So unconsciously, what we've seen is a lot of people from our generation felt that if I'm going to be doing well, then I am okay, then I deserve love. Where does this come from? This comes from childhood. So I need my parents' love, and I deserve that love when I will get the good marks. As we grow up, we are still trying to chase certain numbers, we're still trying to chase certain ambitions. The parents may no longer be there in the picture, but we may be feeling that my partner or someone else will now love me if I have that. So somewhere these black holes, these wounds that are carried, now we need to, nobody else can reach there because this is now in your subconscious. Nobody else can fill it up for you, my dear friends, even if your parents are there in your life. So because it's in your subconscious, and our conscious mind has become like a wall. So we need to really now take responsibility. And as if we are now going to be the parent to this child within. So we need to meet a lot of these unmet needs. Our emotional brain has been clouded, my dear friends. Like I said that, very likely all of us, we have our own different ways of dealing with emotions because our parents were dealing with it in a particular way. We were not really allowed to feel the emotions and be natural in that way. So let's do a quick exercise. Here, friends, you can also put on your cameras if you like, okay? We're just going to see how do we deal with our emotions, okay? I'm going to give you examples, okay, of some situations, okay? Now imagine you are this adult, okay? And you now by chance meet a friend. So it was not something planned. You happen to bump into this friend in a mall, okay? Mall, this is the pre-corona times, okay? So you meet a friend, and now this friend, as you're just asking, how are you doing? What's happening? You don't look too okay. What's happening? And the friend shares with you that I just had a breakup, okay? So let's now I'm going to share a few examples. What you can do is you can just make a note as to what will be your very likely reaction. What is it that you're going to likely, you were obviously not expecting it. So what's it that you're going to say? Forget about him. Come on, let's go out. Let's shop. Let's have some fun. Oh, he's out of the picture now. Just accept it. That'll be better for you. Okay. The third response is cry it out and move on. The fourth response is, really, were you serious about him? The fifth response is, ask him why he broke up. He must have a reason. Maybe try to communicate. The next response is, how can he do this to you? I feel so bad for you. He is not worthy of having you. And the seventh response is almost like we start crying along with the friend that I completely feel your pain. So friends, I want you to just trust the first thing that comes to you. Very likely, what is it that you are going to, how is it that you would, say here, what would you respond? And I want at least 3 friends to actually put their mic on and say whether it's A, B, C, what is it that they would do. All the others can just note it down, what their response is, A, B, C, etc. Who's ready to share?
Hi, Preeti ma'am. This is Sri Lakshmi here.
Hi, Sri Lakshmi.
Hello. So mine would be ask your partner or ex-partner what was wrong with you. Why did you do that?
Okay.
Ask to understand the reason behind it.
Excellent. Thank you, Sri Lakshmi ji. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, Preeti, this is Ravi. So yeah, I would go with the same E.
Okay, excellent. Anybody else? One more person can share.
Oh, yeah. My name is Meena. My reaction would be I would start crying with her or get upset, or it would take it in me, that I'm sad.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Meena ji. Thank you. Wonderful. Friends, similarly, let's take one more example. Okay. So we'll take one more situation. Now, you are at home. I'm assuming, so this is supposing you're a woman, or maybe you can take, if you're a man, then your wife is coming back home from her job. Okay. And somewhere you just hear that the person is on the phone and they're having a fight with the boss. Okay. So what do you go and say? So when you go and meet your partner, very likely what is it that will come out of your mouth? It's just a bad day. Let's do something fun. This is what is expected from you. It's normal. Give it time to settle. Speak up about it. Why did your boss scold you? You know he supports you. Just try to understand his point of view. That's so bad. It happened to you. You know he is short-tempered. You should not take it personally. I feel bad about your day. How can your boss scold you? Okay. So now maybe 3 different people can just share about their response.
Hello, madam. I am Sankit, madam.
Yes, Sanket, hi.
I'm E, madam. Mostly, he supports you. You can try to understand his point of view also, so like that.
Excellent. Thank you. Who else would like to share?
Yeah, hi, this is Meena. I'll go with G.
With G, okay.
Yeah, he's short tempered. You should not take
Okay.
it personally.
Okay.
Hello, ma'am. I'll go with E. I'm Prem Lata. I'll go with E.
Okay. Excellent. Okay. Okay. So friends, good that you've kind of picked up these examples. Now, before I really go further, now whenever a person is actually feeling certain emotions, right? If we remember that sometimes if we just let them also be, what they actually need, what the other person's need is that we are just with them, that we are probably maybe holding the space or just providing a listening ear, right? But a lot of the times we are not able to be that. It's almost like we feel like we have to speak something, right? And that restlessness, when that comes, it comes also from a place of, otherwise we will touch the pain that is there within us. We all also carry that pain, right? And we have all learned certain very logical ways of dealing with, or thinking ways of dealing with our emotions. There are common ways in which we respond. Okay, so all these A to H, these responses were actually designed to recognize very likely what is your way of dealing with your feelings. Okay, now you will deal with even your own feelings very likely in the same way, my dear friends. So it's not only that we do this with the other, but very likely we do this with ourselves. So the example where we said, oh, let's go out, let's shop, is really denial of feelings. So often we see that, you call a friend and the friend is upset and you say, let's go shopping. It's almost like we want to distract. It's almost like we want the friend to feel as if this never happened. Just cut that chapter out, right? So one of the very common ways is we deny the feelings. The other is we go into this philosophical response that, oh, this happened maybe because he was angry, maybe because you do this, right? So all of this is again a philosophical response. And even though we may actually be spending time talking about the feeling, we are not really feeling it. It's coming from here. It's not really coming from the heart. We are not even dropping into the heart. It is coming from here. Again, when we start advising, right? This is again a way that we block ourselves, right? When we are advising, also what happens is, friends, we are thinking that the other person obviously does not have that wisdom. So I need to now somewhere bring you out, right? Whereas if we really understand ourselves that even the child is a very wise being, they also will have their own answers. So if we just don't advise them, if we let them even just be and be there with them, be there for them, they will be able to come to their own answers. We don't have to give them their answers. So the C response was really the advice. The D response is questions. Very likely, if you have been on the side that if you are feeling something, imagine when the other person starts asking you questions. But why did this happen? But how did this happen? Right? It somewhere irritates us because it's not really, those questions don't really help at that point in time. That's not what's going to help the other person. The E response was defense of the other person, the person who got angry, or right. So all of this is really more going, if you just kind of see now, we are already stepping into thinking. So when our friend or our partner is feeling a particular way, we are thinking why this is happening and trying to help them. The other response is pity. Then amateur psychoanalysis. A lot of the times these days, because we know so much of psychology, we get into this. We start saying, oh, I think that person is a narcissistic. He just deserved this. Good that you're out of it, right? So we go into this psychoanalysis as well. And the H is an empathic response. Now, friends, when we say empathic response, of course, it's good to have empathy. But very likely, if we start crying with the other person, it may also be that we have certain wound which is being also resonated with that. So when we are being empathic, just see whether you are in a place of just holding the space for the other. In that case, very likely we will not be crying. What will help is only just in a very loving way, holding the space for the other, being there for the other person. So this just, friends, gives you a little insight as to probably how you are right now dealing with the emotional aspect of yourself. Okay, now how is this really impacting our life when our inner child issues are not resolved? Like I said, that those wounds are there. We are trying to get something outside to really meet those needs. We don't even know consciously that these unmet needs are there. But these unresolved feelings and these unmet needs will show up again and again and again in our lives because they need to be healed. They need to be met with. 90% of our issues, now this is something that's coming from the psychologists, that 90% of our issues with our partners have their roots in our relationship with our parents. So for example, when I was saying that, if my husband is not giving me time, right? Now, very likely what I'll be feeling is I think I'm not good enough. I'm not worth it. That's how he never really finds time for me. And if I trace that back, very likely that's how I felt in my childhood as well. That is exactly what Ganesh was saying, that this is not you and the adult feeling. This is that 6-year-old, this is that 2-year-old who felt like my parents anyways never have the time for me. And because they don't have time for me, that means that I'm not worthy of that time. If I was really good, they would have found that time for me. So what it's triggering is that pain. Now, I cannot really, of course, with my husband, I will communicate and I will do the needful. But what I need to look at is that original pain. It's only when we really nurture ourselves back there that we'll be able to change certain things. A lot of the times, because we have these unmet needs, we also have this fear that our needs are not going to be met with, and hence a lot of fights happen in the couples because of this. It's almost like we are reacting out of these wounds, not only in our personal relationship. Supposing you don't have a personal relationship, but in your job, your feelings of unworthiness, low confidence, not worthy, all of this is really coming from our childhood. So before we really do the meditation, my dear friends, because it may happen that you may not want to really talk much after the meditation, is there a question that anybody has? The meditation that we are going to do, my dear friends, is really now meeting our inner child. As I'll guide you into this meditation, and I'll guide you to see your inner child. Of course, now what we will do is we'll make sure that we are not trying to make the child happy immediately, that we see how the child is feeling and we validate the feeling for the child. We tell the child it is okay if you're feeling lonely. It's okay. I see your sadness if the child is feeling sad or lonely. Right? So when we really validate their feeling, then we really connect with them. And then the next step is that we are reparenting the child. It's like now we are saying, now I'm going to be with you. I'm not going to leave you. I want to really now understand you, hear your story, and be with you. Yes, Srimani ji, you want to ask something?
Yes, Preeti ma'am. Just a question for the situation that I think a lot of parents probably are going through. So with the lockdown, the schools here have been shut. And me and my husband, we're both working. So what's happening is the kids are seeing that we are not spending time with them. So usually when they are at school and we're at work, they don't see us working. But at home, it's like we're not able to give them that time because we have to do our jobs, and they feel that, okay, my son has actually commented saying you love your job more than us. So
How
how
old
do
is he?
yeah, because obviously he sees that when he's coming to me and I'm in a meeting, I kind of tell him, oh, okay, I'll come back to you later, and then something else comes up and he's not getting the attention that I should be giving. And
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, there's it's building a lot of guilt in me that this is not right, but this is the situation we are in. So I don't know how um, what to tell him. I keep telling him that this is all different for us and this is only temporary. This is not all the time. But would you suggest any other way to handle this?
Right, right. Beautiful that you brought this up. And a lot of the times when children express in this way, friends, they are really expressing their unmet need, right? So with all their tantrums, with all their complaints, it's their unmet need that is there. And definitely for them, what is vital is our love and attention. So apart from the food and physical, whatever that they are provided for, the love and attention for of the parent is most important, which obviously means also presence. That means that we need to be present with them. So Srimani ji, there are times, of course, that you will not be able to do that, where you're in an urgent meeting, right? But there are other times where you probably, I think it'll be helpful when you just drop everything when he's coming and saying such things, right? Firstly, just seeing his feeling and kind of just saying, okay, oh, I understand that you felt that this is more important for me, that the work is more important. Maybe I have been not giving you the time when you needed my time, and I'm sorry about this. So when you just kind of say that, in a sense, obviously you're validating his, his feeling, and you're not making him wrong. And when you just do that, what he's getting is that connection and that presence from you. So that is really what's really going to also mend it for you, for him. So through the day, I think in this situation, it's important that yes, you can tell them that we can spend time. These are the times that we can spend time, and probably where you see that it's urgent, like maybe he really needs your time for whatever reason. Maybe taking that little break, so that 3 minutes, 5 minutes break where you just become present with them. That complete presence is really what they really feel nurtured when that happens. One of the common things is that even when we are with them, we think physically we are there with them, but mentally we are really not there. We're really not present with them, and that presence is what really nurtures them. So tell me if that kind of helps, or is there another layer to this that you want me to ponder over and tell you?
No, that's absolutely that's fine, ma'am. Yeah, I think it's giving that attention when they need, even if it's for a short duration. Yeah, I think we just get so embroiled in this whole
Yeah,
thing that we don't realize how important that little time with them
yeah,
actually could
yeah,
be.
yeah, yeah.
No, thank you for
Thank you
highlighting.
for
Thank
sharing that.
Dr. Preeti, there is one more question from
Yes.
you. Right? How do I forgive myself for committing a mistake in past, which is bothering me very much at present?
Okay.
That's
Okay. Now, this mistake is affecting you or your child, or have they specified?
I think person, it is affecting the person who asked the
Affecting the
question.
So friends, it's important to know that, at any point in time, we are also growing. We are all evolving. What I was 3 days back, I have evolved from there, right? So at any point in time, we very likely do the best that we can. So it'll be helpful if you kind of go back into your past, see really what happened there, right? Were you really doing the best things that you knew at that point in time? Because very likely, if you're judging it from now, from what you have today, the wisdom that you have today, very likely it's never going to be good enough, right? So if there are mistakes, whatever that mistake has, uh, it has affected even other people, yes, owning up for that mistake, learning from that mistake is important. You can ask for forgiveness from anybody else if that is something that is needed, and then forgiving yourself. For forgiving oneself, this aspect is important to remember, that we are going to make mistakes and learn from them. That's how we all evolve. So it's okay. Just remember that every day we do the best that we can today in this moment. Yeah. So that is something that helps us to forgive ourselves. And the guilt, a healthy guilt is also guilt is also healthy when we learn from it. Then after that it has no use. So really recognizing that carrying the guilt then does not help. We learn the lesson and then drop it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ravi. Yes. Any other questions before we can move towards the
Hello.
meditation? Yes.
Madam, two questions which you showed in the slide. For that, how you have to respond? What is the correct response?
The correct response, it's not like what you really say, but a lot of the responses that we had put here were coming from this advice, from this, as if we are operating from the thinking mind, right? Like a philosophical response, like we said, advice. Now when you are asking also how do you respond, it's again a question of the mind, right? Imagine when I really love somebody, right? I just let myself be there for that person. The words will come out then, whatever they need to come out. But we need to really be there for them. When we spoke about presence, like our child needs our presence, right? Now it's this presence which actually nurtures. When you are really there with your heart, with your feeling, with your presence for that person, that is what is going to be help. It's not really what you say. Imagine if you were in that situation. It's not that the advice that the other is giving you, if they were really thinking and giving you, that's not really going to help. It's just for the formality. It's because sometimes we just get so awkward that what do we do now in this situation, that we want to find the right answer, right? So it's not really the right answer is this this question is of the head. But when we are, the whole purpose of this exercise is to recognize that, for the feeling, we have to just feel. We have to, it's almost like we have to drop into the heart. And we have all forgotten. We've all become thinking beings. And to connect with our inner child, we have to really feel. Okay. So you'll find your answers. Don't worry. That wisdom is there in you. All the meditation, just, Dr. Patriji, Dr. Newton, they all talk about it, that the wisdom is there in you. So what you want to say when the situation is there in front of you will automatically come. That answer that will come from the wisdom of your soul will actually touch the other person.
Okay. It
Right.
comes automatically totally.
Yes, don't plan that. Yeah.
Okay.
But right now we just connect with our inner child, which is also the feeling part of us, right?
Okay, madam. Thank you, madam.
Thank you. Excellent, friends. So are we ready for the meditation?
Yes, looks like.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So friends, make sure that you're muted so that it does not disturb anybody's meditation. And you can take a comfortable posture, ideally with your back straight. And if you're sure that you're not going to fall asleep, you may even lie down for this. So close your eyes, dear friends. Take a couple of long and deep breaths. Breathing in from the nose 3 times, breathe out from the mouth. Breathe out all the surface tension, all the tiredness, all the stress that you may be holding on into your body. And give yourself the permission to relax. Feel that a wonderful healing energy, light is coming onto you from the sky. Visualize it the color that you're most comfortable with right now. And this wonderful healing energy, this healing light is helping you relax. You can feel this beautiful energy, this beautiful light, relaxing your entire scalp, your forehead, the muscles of your jaws, your cheeks, your entire face. The muscles of your neck and your throat are now completely relaxed. And feel this beautiful energy coming down, relaxing your shoulders. As it comes down your body, feel it relaxing the arms, the forearms, right up to your fingertips. And feel this beautiful energy come down your chest, relaxing the muscles of the rib cage and all the deeper tissues in the chest. Relaxing the beautiful muscles of your back, which have been supporting you all this time. Relaxing the upper back, middle back, and the lower back. And relaxing your abdomen. The deeper tissues in the abdomen, the muscles of the abdominal wall. Feel this beautiful relaxation now coming down further into your hips. Coming down into your thighs. Relaxing your thighs and coming down into your knees. Down into your calves. Your ankles. And all the way down to your feet. And as your entire body is relaxed, I'd like you to also visualize, add to this visualization that you are in a beautiful place of nature. A place of nature which you're very, very comfortable with. This could be a place that you have visited before, or it may be a completely new place to you. Put yourself there, feel yourself there. This place is going to be your personal healing sanctuary. And this beautiful energy that was coming onto you from the sky continues to come onto you in this nature place. This shower of energy, these blessings you're feeling right now. And as it leaves your body, it's moving into the Mother Earth. This healing sanctuary of yours is giving you all the strength, every aspect that you need for your healing. You are being nurtured here. You're being taken care of, supported in a beautiful manner. Feel that happening. Watch that happening. You have all the wisdom within you. And at this point in time, when you relax so deeply and get so deeply nurtured by the Mother Earth, which is our big mother, by the Father Sky, which is our big father, your most wise part is there awakened in you. The one who is now ready to meet the inner child, to be the parent or the friend to this child. You have all the wisdom to now take care of this inner child, and you're feeling more and more ready with every breath to do that. At this point in time, my dear friends, feel that you are taking a walk in this beautiful place of nature. With every step that you're taking, feel the touch of the Mother Earth. Feel the textures that you're feeling as you walk. Maybe the breeze that may be touching you, the gentle sunshine that may be touching you. Look at the beautiful beauty, the colors around you. Every aspect of nature is here to support you in your healing journey. As you're walking, connect with nature. Draw from them the strength that you need. And as you're walking, just at a little distance, you will now see a marble bench. You're going to find your inner child sitting on the marble bench as you get closer there. Or it may happen that if the child is not comfortable, the child may be hiding somewhere around that area. You are walking now closer to this marble bench with all the love in your heart, with all the wisdom, with all the patience. You want to meet your inner child. You want to see the truth. How is this child feeling? And today you're ready to see the truth. As you come closer to the bench, trust the first feelings, first visuals that pop. Where do you see the child? What is the posture of this child? How is the child feeling? Are you seeing the child on the bench, or is the child hiding? The posture of the child, the look in the eyes of the child tells you so much about the child. Just with your heart open, you're now ready to sense what this child is feeling. Watching the child, sensing what the child is feeling. You are ready to wait if the child is not comfortable coming close to you. Introduce yourself to the child. Tell the child, I'm your adult self coming from 2020. I want to know you. I want to understand you. And now I want to be there for you. Tell the child that I'm so sorry that I was not there with you for so long. Will you please allow me to be with you? The child may open up, may come running to you. But the child may also take time, may not be trusting you immediately. And that's okay. Give time to the child. Go close to the child only to the extent that the child is comfortable with. If you are already seeing that the child has come to you, you may either put your hand on the heart or take a cushion if you have one close by, as if you're now holding this child. And feel the love flowing from your palms to this child. Our heart is connected to the palms. Our heart center is connected to our hands. Feel the love flowing through your palms to your inner child. Maybe even so many words may not be needed. And just your being, just your eyes may be communicating to the child that you now want to take care of the child. In your own natural way, maybe in your own mother tongue, let the child know, I love you. I'm here for you. I accept you just the way you are. Every child wants to be seen for who they are, not what they're doing. If you're okay right now, just tell them, I see you the way you are, and I so love you the way you are. Thank you for meeting me. Thank you to come up to me, to be with me. Nobody else in this world can understand your inner child, can understand you the way you yourself can. So be there with your inner child in the way that you know is best. You may go into the nature place, play with the inner child if that's what the child is happy doing. Or you may just sit there in silence on the bench with the child. Maybe just holding hands or taking the child in the lap. See it in the visual, feel it happening. Just allow this bonding to happen very naturally for you. Tell the child, I am never ever going to leave you alone now. You can share your needs with me. You can share your feelings with me. The child is opening up more with every breath. Is feeling nurtured with every breath. Connected with every breath. More and more. More and more. Your connection with your inner child is established. Every day as you connect with your inner child, you'll be able to nurture her more. You'll be able to understand him or her more. Your inner child resides in your heart space. You may visualize or feel that your child is taking the form of a light now and entering your own heart space. This connection is only going to grow stronger with time. Promise the inner child that I will meet you every day. And whenever you feel ready, you can slowly start coming back. Take a couple of long and deep breaths. Bring all of your awareness to your body, to yourself. Feeling refreshed, relaxed, rejuvenated. Slowly, you can bring yourself back. Rub your palms together. Cover your eyes with them and slowly open your eyes. Wonderful, my dear friends. Welcome back. I would love to hear some experiences of our dear friends of the meditation.
Yes, please unmute yourself if anyone wants to share your experience. Also check on the live. Let's give it like maybe a few more seconds.
Friends, we all know that children have such beautiful qualities. They are wondrous, creative beings by nature. Now, we spoke about all of this wounding, and as all of this wounding, some of this wounding happens, or some of this, this feeling of shame that happens. we start losing some beautiful qualities of our inner child along the way. Our creativity, our wondrous nature, all of it really kind of, we lose it somewhere, our trust, because of some of these woundings. So do connect with your inner child again and again. For anybody who would like to understand and do this work deeper, because this is really just a glimpse, this work is extremely deep. And like Ganesh was saying, both of us have actually done the 6 days workshop also twice. So we also are, coaches for the Quantum Life University, Dr. Newton, Dr. Lakshmi. This is an upcoming workshop that's there. You can also check for the other workshops that are happening on info@qluglobal.org. We also do other work. So the AHA movement is the organization that Ganesh and me, we founded. These are the details for that. Do subscribe, do like. We have a lot of other videos and meditations that we put. So we already have an inner child healing meditation, which is there on our YouTube channel as well. So you can use that. And do keep connecting with your inner child to bring back all of these beautiful qualities which we may have disowned. Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Preeti and friends. I mean, the moment we hear this kind of workshop, we think about our children. Okay, so okay, I need to take care of, but actually we need to take care of, you know, ourselves first. Heal your inner child first. I mean, that's what I learned last year when I attended the workshop, and it was 2 days, 2 full days workshop, and even that was not enough. I believe me, right? So
Yes.
it's very, very important that you know, do the inner work, your inner child work, heal your inner child wounds. And it not just heals you, it heals your you know, all the generations. Basically, that's what I felt.
Yes.
And yeah, and please, I mean, you have the details here, just go and check. And there is a workshop happening on as you see, next month. And this is like they are like kindly raising funds for Quantum Life University, that is in India. Okay, so founded by Dr. Newton and Dr. Lakshmi, and Dr. Preeti and Ganesh, they are acharyas in Quantum Life University. Okay, thank you. Does anyone have any questions or anything you want to share your experience? Just, you know, unmute yourself. I hope I haven't taken out the settings not to unmute yourself. Yeah, I think you have that. So go on. If someone is having, we'll wait a few more seconds and then close.
Hi, Ravi. Bindu here.
Yeah.
Hi, Dr. Preeti. Thank you. Hi, Preeti. It was a wonderful meditation. I was very much deep into it. So when I saw my inner child, I was very much emotionally connected. So when you asked to hug a pillow, which that is what I did, and I felt that there was a deep connection emotionally, and tears started rolling down my eyes. So I felt like I've released all those emotions. So I feel much better now and quite well connected with my inner child. It was a beautiful experience.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Bindu, for sharing that.
Thank you.
Friends, some of you, it may have also happened that you could not see your inner child. A lot of people, even in the workshop, sometimes we, the child is kind of not trusting. Suddenly you were not there for so many years. Now who's this person coming in? Especially when the wounds are significant, that's something that happens. So don't give up. You can use the recording, connect with your inner child again, and do connect, do be there. So you show your commitment and the child will start opening up. Okay. Thank you, Ravi Kiran, for this beautiful opportunity and for this beautiful platform. Congratulations and thank you for the amazing work that you are doing. I keep following your work also, you and your wife's work. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you, PMC, for this beautiful opportunity. And thank you all the dear friends who could join us here on Zoom and also on YouTube. Thank you.
Thank you. There is, I think someone has Sri Marni. If you want to talk, you have raised your hand.
Yes.
Oh, hello. Hi. Sorry. I just thought I'll quickly share my experience.
Yes.
Last time. So I did to your session, Preeti ji, I think last time as well. And when you said go to a place, and I went back exactly to the same place I did when I did your last session.
Okay.
And this time it was like the inner child was sitting on the bench with the open arms, and I could just run towards her. I mean, last time I can't clearly remember how it was, but it wasn't to that extent. But this time it was just open arms, and I felt I was already connected to the inner child, maybe because I had done this session before with you as well. So it was like a progress in that direction, but it was amazing. And we just hugged. We didn't speak, we didn't talk. We just hugged each other, and that was it. And it was an amazing feeling. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Excellent, excellent.
And there are some comments on the YouTube. I can't believe I was in tears the moment I saw my inner child sitting on the bench. I just couldn't stop. So I don't see the name clearly on the, so it's some short. So that's, thank you so much for the session. That's
beautiful, beautiful.
And there is one more on the one other channel saying it was very much useful session, ma'am. Thank you so much. I think the question you answered on the how to forgive the self. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ravi, once again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, PMC. Thank you, Patriji. Thank you to all the masters. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Dr. Preeti and Ganesh. I think he now.
Yes. So there was another session that he had. Something got there. They lost connectivity, and he had to juggle between the two.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a nice day. Everyone have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Thank you. It was very useful and very nice session.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
It was an amazing session.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let's end the session. We'll meet again with another wonderful session next week. Thank you all. Bye-bye.